74 days later, the Madlanga Commission finally shines a spotlight on Morgan Hangwani Maumela. This is the guy we talked about in this video here, where President Ramaphosa said, I don't know the guy. Then said, oopsie, a picture just came out with me at his doorstep. Then goes, oopsie, actually, I have met him just once. Then goes, okay, I did meet him again and even went into the house to meet him. So in this video, I'm going to show you what's going on there. And if you come with me all the way till my biblical reaction, you will get 3 ways that you can connect dots that will make sense of all of this. But bottom line, South Africa will prosper. You ready? All right. Press like and let's jump in. Let's start with the latest witness. His name is Suleiman Carrim, a businessman connected to Morgan Hangwani Maumela and Cat Matlala. His lawyers were trying to get some kind of postponement so they can plan better how to answer to these allegations. But in the process, Madlanga didn't take kindly to it.
My learned friend suggests a 45-minute or a 1-hour stand down. It's not in his mouth to suggest that. I don't know how long I'm going to need, but I'm going to do this carefully and I'm going to take proper time to do so.
If we are not inclined to adjourn so that you should prepare a postponement application, if our inclination is to give you time to consult, what time would you suggest? Mr. Shaskalsin has suggested 45 minutes to an hour. What would you suggest?
Chair, I think at least 2 hours, and I'll come back to you if I need more time. But I do want to say, it seems then that you've prejudged an application that
Mr. Bana, I take strong exception to that.
No.
You know, and you are an experienced counsel, you know that judges will engage you during argument, engage you to an extent that you will think they are against you, but in the end you are surprised that the judgment is in your favor. Engaging counsel has nothing to do with matters being prejudged, and you know that. I take very strong exception to that article.
I don't think...
In fact, I find it unprofessional for you to say that I have prejudged issues purely because I'm engaging you. I take strong exception to that.
I don't think that you should take exception. And what
I do.
Can I respond, Chair? What you put to me was that you weren't going to allow an opportunity for the postponement application.
I did not. I did not say I am not. I never said so. We can play back the tape. We can play back the recording.
Then I was mistaken.
So that is... I can actually, to be rough, I can say you are lying.
No, then I was mistaken. I understood you to say that you were not prepared to allow a stand down for the postponement application to be brought, but you were ready to consider the stand down to deal with the documents. If I was mistaken in that, then I'm mistaken, but that is clearly how I understood it.
You definitely are. I did not. It was an if situation, which arises all the time during argument.
Then I accept that.
Thank you. And you apologize for what you said, because you basically suggested impropriety on my part that I've prejudged issues whilst the matter is being debated. Are you tendering an apology for that?
Yes, if I misunderstood it, then I tender an apology. But as you say, the record will indicate, and my recollection is that you said, if you are not prepared...
So you are tendering a qualified apology, a conditional apology.
Chair, if I'm mistaken,
you are tendering a conditional...
I apologize, but that's not what I heard.
You are saying if the recording can so you are tendering a conditional apology.
What you put to me as well, that the recording will reflect what happens. What's good for you is good for me.
So I'm not accepting the so-called apology. Thank you very much. Any further submissions?
No, I did say if I misunderstood,
I'm saying I'm not, let's step off that. I'm saying I'm not accepting it. So let's step off that. Any further submissions?
No further submissions.
Thank you very much.
Woo! So they came back and...
Thank you, Chair. May I just say the apology is unconditional. I did not hear the if when you made the statement, and what you correctly pointed out is you said if we are not inclined to adjourn, and I understood that you said you were not inclined to adjourn, so the apology is unconditional.
Now the apology is accepted, Mr. Banda.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Learn that if you got toxic people in your life. Now, back to Morgan Hangwani Maumela. Hear what Clement Manyathela said.
There is a man who seems to be so powerful that even investigative reporters who are so brilliant in this country are unable to get to him or even get to his most recent movements. And I don't think that speaks to the failure of the investigative journalist. I think it speaks to the power of the man that we're talking about. Morgan Hangwani Maumela. Who is this man? We know he lives quite a fleshy lifestyle. He is alleged to be part of a syndicate that looted about 2 billion rand from the Tembisa hospital. I mean, did you see those Lamborghinis? What is it about this man that is so difficult to pin? I would have thought that by now this man is either arrested or at the very least there's an investigation that is advanced around him, or he's already been called to come and testify at the ad hoc committee. Is he even in the country? Maybe that's what makes it complicated. Can anybody even get a hold of him?
Well, Suleiman Carrim, connections to the ANC, to Kat Matlala, to Brown Mokgotsi, to Morgan Hangwani Maumela, gave testimony that ensures that he must be called to the commission to testify. See if you can connect the dots in this triangle between him, Kat Matlala, and Morgan Hangwani Maumela.
At the time that you started this business relationship with Mr. Matlala, I assume that you were aware that Mr. Maumela had been a business associate of Mr. Matlala.
At that point, he didn't disclose that to me.
No, but you'd read articles. We discussed earlier that from, I think it was April 2024, you'd read articles about allegations in relation to Mr. Maumela and Mr. Matlala at Tembisa Hospital.
Yes, we never discussed those relations. He never brought Mr. Matlala up to me.
I'm asking, were you aware that there was a business relationship between the two of them?
At that point, I saw articles, but there was no direct link between them.
I see. So all you knew is what you had read in the press about them?
That's correct.
Did you, at any other stage, find out about business relationships between Mr. Matlala and Mr. Maumela?
When I concluded the agreement, or when we had the handshake or the verbal agreement with Mr. Matlala, I then asked Mr. Maumela, look, you've never raised Mr. Matlala with me. Are you and Mr. Matlala associates? What is the issue? He then said to me, yes, we are. So I asked him, but you never told me this. He said, yeah, look, I don't think it was important for you to have met this man through me. And that was his stance. He said, look, I didn't want to introduce you to Mr. Matlala. I said, why? He just said, no, I didn't want to introduce you to Mr. Matlala.
At a certain point, Mr. Matlala must have established that you and Mr. Maumela knew each other.
Not that he told me off, unless Mr. Maumela discussed it with him.
Well, your Morgan sorted email suggests that he knows that you know who Morgan is.
Yes, remember, he then said, I must make a payment to Morgan Maumela.
And at that point, did he not know that you knew Mr. Maumela?
Well, he also played to me as if he didn't know that me and Mr. Maumela are friends.
So when you were asked to pay Mr. Maumela, Mr. Matlala didn't give any indication that he knew that you and Mr. Maumela were friends?
No, between the two of them, and I observed this, they did not raise how deep their relationship was to me. They did not.
But Mr. Maumela was also calling you at the same time and pressurizing you to get Mr. Matlala to pay him. What was he saying in that regard?
No, he said he's asked this man to give him money, so this man needs to pay him this monies. He's aware that this man is going to pay me, and I should then please give him the money once I receive it.
So by this stage, you have discussed with Mr. Maumela that you're now in business with Mr. Matlala. And he said, well, I didn't think it was important for me to introduce you. Didn't want to introduce you to him. But he now, in February, starts calling you and saying, Mr. Matlala is going to pay you, you must pay me. Is that what happened?
They had an arrangement, or Mr. Matlala, he asked to borrow money from Mr. Matlala. I don't know what it was exactly. But according to him, Mr. Matlala needed to pay him. Either money is owed or money is borrowed. I just can't remember what it was. But yes.
So you can't remember whether this was money that was being borrowed or money that was being paid out as an amount due to Mr. Maumela?
Yes, it's either a loan. I can't remember.
You get called on the 30th of January by Mr. Matlala, Salam brother, can you please check with your guys how far is the payment? You come back saying checking, and you say we'll revert. He says, okay, thanks. Next morning, you say, morning, they say payment is done, I'm waiting for the remittance. A minute later, he sends a screenshot of that chat to Mr. Maumela. You see that?
Yes,
This is his chat with Mr. Maumela.
Yes.
So he is copying his chat with you to Mr. Maumela.
I have no idea why you do that.
Well, let's go further. You see, 40 seconds after he sent the screenshot to Mr. Maumela, you responded, not yet. And then you say, the lady insists it's paid, I'm just waiting for some proof. And we see that after you have answered, he emails that chat to Mr. Maumela. So he's now emailed to Mr. Maumela an updated version of his chat with you.
Emailed or?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, yes.
WhatsApp. And straight after WhatsApping to Mr. Maumela, he says to you, okay, we'll see when it appears in the account.
Yes.
So he's having a conversation with you, and he is essentially copying that conversation as it develops to Mr. Maumela.
I see that, yes.
And you have no idea why he would be doing
I have no idea. It's the first time I'm seeing this. I don't know why I would take my chats and pass them over to Mr. Maumela.
I see. At 10:22 and 10:23, there are calls from Mr. Matlala to you. You respond saying, Salam, I'll call you at 12. He immediately responds to you saying WLKM SLM, which I understand to be Wa alaikum salam.
Yes.
He again WhatsApps a screenshot of that chat, which just shows two empty voice calls, Salam, I'll call you at 12, Wa alaikum salam, to Mr. Maumela. And if we go down, is an immediate response from Mr. Maumela. He calls Mr. Matlala back. You see that?
Yes.
And do you have any idea what you were discussing on 18 March 2025 that may have been of such importance that Mr. Matlala wanted to screenshot that exchange to Mr. Maumela, and Mr. Maumela immediately responded to the screenshot of what just says voice call, Salam, I'll call you at 12. He immediately responded. Any recollection of what you would have been talking about on 18 March?
No, I don't know why he was sending Mr. Maumela my screenshots. I can't recall of anything important that we were discussing with Mr. Matlala.
Well, let me try to jog your memory. You will see that almost immediately after your voice calls with Mr. Matlala, a series of visitor codes to Zimbali Estate were WhatsApped from Mr. Maumela to Mr. Matlala. Does that help you remember anything?
No, I don't know. I don't know why he was sending him Zimbali. I've never been in. At this point, I was not even in Zimbali.
You went in Zimbali?
Yes. No. But I don't know why he was sending him these.
No, he wasn't sending them to you.
Yes, he was sending them to. Yes, so
Mr. Maumela sends them to Mr. Matlala.
Agreed, but I have no idea why these were sent.
Okay. Well, the evidence will be that one of these entrance codes that Mr. Maumela sent to Mr. Matlala immediately before that voice calls to you that were then screenshot and WhatsApped to Mr. Maumela, one of those entrance codes was forwarded by Mr. Matlala to General Cele and was then used by General Cele to enter the Zimbali estate. So at 10:41, when Mr. Matlala WhatsApped Mr. Maumela your exchanges, saying that you would call at 12, it seems that they knew that Mr. Matlala was likely to be meeting with General Cele at the time. Was any of this discussed with you?
No, nothing. I know nothing about this. Any meetings, I knew nothing about this. Not at all.
You didn't know about that.
Not at all.
And in due course, you did call back. You have no recollection of what transpired in that call.
I can't recall what we were talking about. But
And no one mentioned anything about General Taylor to you.
I knew nothing about this meeting.
But what it does appear is that Mr. Maumela and Mr. Matlala knew that Mr. Matlala would be meeting with General Taylor at the time that you were likely to call. And they didn't seem to make any attempt to stop your call. Have any comment on that?
Yes, but it was definitely not related to General Kelly. I did not know about this meeting.
You didn't know about that?
No, I did not know about this meeting.
It seems to me that this gets complicated in the sense that, as you said, something like this man being Mr. Matlala, must pay Mr. Maumela. And also that once you have received payment from Mr. Matlala, you must then pay Mr. Maumela. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes. So I'm saying this, in a sense, gets complicated in addition to the questions I asked yesterday. I'm wondering, in my mind, Mr. Maumela already knows that he's going to be paid out of monies that have been paid to you. And I'm wondering, why is he not saying to Mr. Matlala, pay me? And did you ask, why must it be this secateurs? Why must it, instead of the direct payment, let me, as Mr. Carrim, just get my money, and that's it. I have nothing to do with you. Get your money directly from Mr. Matlala. Do you have any idea why it had to be secateurs?
Like I said, Commissioner, I kept on saying to them.
I'm addressing between you and Mr. Maumela now.
It had to go. I agree that rightfully Mr. Matlala had to pay him, but like I said, they put me under pressure. He then called me and said, look, I've got more invoices in. I think those invoices.
You are talking Mr. Matlala?
Yeah, Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
So in order for him to make me or to force me to pay, he said to me, there's another 13 million rand going to be paid. So please, if you can pay this, and I'll see you good on the next payment. Because at that point, I was still asking him, why don't you pay it directly? You can't pay it directly. He said, no, you must pay him. Please help me pay.
It would have been much easier and quicker for Mr. Matlala to pay directly to Mr. Maumela. I'm sure you would agree.
Yes, I agree. But
Yes. And did you ask Mr. Maumela why the payment had to be secateurs?
according to him, he said that was the instructions from Mr. Matlala that the payment will come via me.
But did you ask Mr. Maumela?
Yes, I asked him, why don't you ask Mr. Matlala to pay you?
To pay you
Yes,
directly.
to pay you. Why is he paying me? He said, no, Mr. Matlala said, you're going to make the payment, so that's why I'm calling you. Please, when you receive this money, make my payment.
But that doesn't answer the question, but why me instead of directly? Did you ask that?
I've asked him. Like I've said, I've asked Mr. Maumela,
You see, thing is, being told that Mr. Matlala said he will pay you and you will pay me doesn't answer the question, but why is the payment not direct? Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Did you ask why is the payment not
I
direct?
did ask. I just didn't get a response from Mr. Matlala was just insistent. He would just be insistent. He would say, please, you just have to do this. He would not even give a reason. And I asked him, you can make this payment directly. You don't need me to pay him. Why must I pay him? And he gave Mr. Maumela the same story and said, just call Carrim and tell Carrim to make the payment. Once he
So
gets it.
you basically have no explanation from Mr. Matlala. You also have no explanation from Mr. Maumela. Did you not become suspicious of all this?
No, Mr. Matlala's explanation, like I said, he either owed, I can't remember correctly, either owed or loaned, something to that effect.
But that was not an explanation.
Yes, he didn't give me an explanation, Commissioner.
Yeah, so my question then is, you have no explanation from Mr. Matlala, you have no explanation from Mr. Maumela. Did you not become suspicious about this secretar's mode of payment and why it had to be so?
Yes, I did, but like I said, on Mr. Matlala's instructions, there was more money to come. So I didn't want to upset him so that I don't get money on the next payment.
So you say you did have a suspicion. What was that suspicion?
No, the suspicion was that why would he not pay directly? Why would he want to pay me?
What was the nature of the suspicion that you had? What did you suspect?
No, I just suspected between the two of them, why were they using me? They could have just dealt directly. And then Mr. Matlala then says to me, look, there's another payment coming in of 13 million. I'll see you good there, so please just do this for me, and when the next payment comes in, I'll sort you out.
And then despite that suspicion, you just went ahead and paid as requested by Mr. Matlala.
Correct.
Thank you.
He never dealt with both of them and never spoke to either about the other, and yet there was this triangle that they all know each other, but no one mentions the other except when the other is telling the other to pay the other. It just made no sense. 15 million, 10 million, 1 million, which he said, oh, thanks, commissioners. I didn't know this money left my account. Now that you found this 1.25 million or something, I'll go back to my office and find out how did that get paid to Kat Matlala's bank account. So this all just looked like someone is not saying something, but he did have one kinda convincing explanation about why he acted the way he did. Let's see if you buy it.
So he called me about this payment of 13 million and said there's a payment of 13 million coming, and I was like, can you send me something? And as time went on, I said to him, you said I must pay Mr. Maumela and there's money coming. You have to reimburse my money. That's when he sent me this screenshot to try and convince me in March that money is coming.
He offered you the prospect of more money coming so that you could pay Mr. Maumela the 500 that you'd now agreed to pay, and he would give you back that 500 and more with your further payments.
Yes, he said that, but he didn't give it back to me.
Yes, but then why in the face of that, when the next payment comes through and is only 1 million, so you're now in a net position where that payment is really only 500,000, because 500,000 of it really has already been paid by you to Mr. Maumela. Why do you go ahead and then pay half of your net proceeds to Mr. Maumela, 250?
Yes, when I asked him, he then said to me, I'll make a follow-up payment, which didn't happen.
When we dealt with this stuff yesterday, I put it to you that you don't strike me, one, as a naive businessman, two, as a businessman who lets people walk all over you. And your response to that, and I must say, I was convinced, I found it an honest response, and a response that I accepted, was yes, but I now was a bit scared because I had seen press reports. I had seen press reports. I didn't know if they were true or not, but I was scared. They may have been true. I wanted to protect my family and myself. Now, is that what your evidence is? Is your evidence that you paid Mr. Maumela the 500 and the 250 principally because you were scared not to comply with what Mr. Matlala was telling you to do?
Yes, I was, Council.
Because then I think let's just be clear about that. And promises of future money and the like, they're not really convincing, and I can accept that answer. I would also have been scared.
Okay, thank you.
So he says, I allowed myself to be used in this shady arrangement because I kind of had read about Babita Deokaran and I didn't want to be next. So the commission goes on and we'll get to see more. Now, so there are three interesting ways to join the dots in such matters. Number one is follow the interest. Just ask the question, what are they really after? And then that connects the dots. The second one is follow the money, which the Madlanga Commission is doing right now. That always paints a perfect picture. A very interesting one in this time, in this age of the internet, is follow the advisors. What lawyer do they use? Who else does that lawyer serve to do what? financial advisor. Who else uses the same financial advisor to do what? And as you follow advisors, it's amazing how much just comes out to the surface and becomes so clear. And I think we did that when the Madlanga Commission showed up, and immediately it became extremely clear that two political parties in parliament, very top politicians, leaders in politics, it's very clear what's going on. My biblical reaction. The prudent man, the man with common sense, the sensible man, sees danger and hides himself. But the simple ones who don't think about the next 3 steps, the ones who don't think about consequences, the ones who don't think about repercussions, they go on and they suffer for it. So I'm saying nothing more than what I've said on this video. You share your thoughts below. I'm out. No man can serve 2 masters. Either he'll serve the one and hate the other, or he'll despise the one and honor the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. Let's make history together.